What up, YouTube? Today we're here with my brother Jordan. I'm Ryan at 5 Star Dairy, and we are going to be maintaining equipment. Today's pretty nice out. We're pretty lucky. The weather's been pretty bad lately. Yesterday we actually even had 3 inches of snow, and as you can see now, it's all gone. Thank God. This is the corn silage from the feeding video, if you guys remember that, if you guys were there for it. Pile's looking really nice. Face looks perfect. It's pretty dry over here. Hopefully the ground keeps drying up so we can get in the field soon and get you guys some good video.
Hi, so as Ryan has stated before, I'm Jordan. I'm the youngest brother on 5 Star Dairy. I do a lot of the feeding, and along with 2 of my brothers, Cody and Andrew, we do the main feeding on our home dairy farm. But all of us do know how to feed because occasionally other people will, depending on the day and what all comes. So as the warmer weather comes around, we even got some sun today, even after the 3.5 inches of snow yesterday. But there's servicing on the equipment, especially once you get into the fields. And with the sun coming out, it means that we're getting a lot closer to the fields. But what people need to recognize is that every day equipment starts and runs on a dairy farm. So today I'm going to be showing you how to service the equipment, the payloader here, as well as one of our feeding tractors, the John Deere.
This right here is a Komatsu W270, WA270. You guys saw it in the other video if you guys did watch the feeding video. But the one thing you guys didn't see was the 4955 John Deere. You guys didn't see that because it had some problems with it. What was wrong with it, Jordan?
Hydraulic pump.
Hydraulic pump. And how long did that take to change?
So Andrew and Philip actually did it, and the total hours, it took them about between 4 and 5 hours, but depending on parts, then they waited. It took about a week that the John Deere was down.
But we got it back running now. And we got our other tractor had a radiator problem, so we had to get a new radiator for it because we already fixed it once and the guy didn't want to fix it again. But this is our, I call it the famous 4955. It's one of the first tractors I've ever drove. This one in the 5088, our international one. But this one I grew up merging with. It's the first tractor that I ever merged with. We don't merge with it anymore, but now it sits on a feed cart most of the time. Jordan does almost all the maintenancing with the payloader, this feed tractor, the wagon here, and the other wagon, and the other tractor. Cody helps a little bit, but Jordan does a lot of it. And then you'll see here, these tires are pretty bald. We don't worry about good traction here because the only place that the payloader goes is on cement, so we don't worry about good traction all the time. We gotta grease everything. You'll see this has quick attach, so from inside of the payloader you can actually move these pins and unlatch and latch up to buckets, different attachments. So it's really crucial that we get grease here. You'll see there's a grease zerk right there. And greasing this payloader we try to do how often, Jordan?
Once a week it gets done.
Once a week, so pretty good maintenance schedule on this. We try to wash it during the summer. It probably gets washed once a week, at tops once every other week, but usually we try to keep it once a week. Right now it just got washed last week and it's already a little dirty. Pretty much as soon as it rains it gets muddy and dirty. So Jordan, what does servicing really include? What do you do every week?
So every week it's just a complete overlook over the equipment, whether it's hydraulic hoses, which is these, or even just your tires like Ryan has talked about before, which this one's getting pretty close, but it still has a little bit of life left to it, and as time goes on, I'll keep an eye on it, and then when it's due to change, we'll change it. It also includes blowing out the radiator because any dust or anything that accumulates in there allows the engine to run hotter than it's supposed to, as well as the air filter, all for the engine as well. And then one of the most crucial parts of servicing is greasing. And this is a grease gun, and grease is a type of lubricant for anywhere where it's metal on metal, which is like right here, any pivot points, as well as your bearings, whether it's a wheel bearing or a PTO bearing or anything like that.
We got a couple of these. We grease our tankers after every big time. So after first cut, we grease them, and after spring haul, we grease them. Sometimes we grease them twice during spring haul. During fall haul, we'll grease them like 2 or 3 times. So we have 3 of these, and the DeWalt's pretty nice. I know there's better brands out there, but we have DeWalt tools, and so we use DeWalt grease gun. And the type of grease in this is different from our grease for the tankers, because why?
because this is a lot thicker of a grease, so it holds a lot better. And with these joints, when you're feeding, you're constantly moving the arms up and down, so they're constantly pivoting. The grease in there is constantly moving and working its way out, so then you have to re-grease it. So the thicker the grease is that you can put into it, the less you have to maintenance it and the less you have to worry about wear.
We usually don't maintenance out here, but it is really dry out here. And the shed that the commodity shed from before, you guys have seen, is pretty dark in there. So I didn't really want to make a video on maintaining in kind of the dark. So we're using the sun to our advantage today. You can see there, the start came out a little bit, so that's when you know you got enough in there. So right here is where the payloader articulates from. It's got that pin right there and that pin right there. And so those got to get greased all the time. They're some of the most important ones to grease. Here's another one.
So as I said before, this is the grease gun. The grease comes in tubes, and as the tube runs out, you got to change it. And then there's a cylinder here that just twists on that holds the tube. Right there it is. So in order to get the old tube out, you just pull out and then it'll actually push itself right out. And grease is messy. Then you just pop the new cap off and extend this ram out to the end, so then there's room in there and it just slides right in. And then all you do is pull the tab off and there's a new one. And then you just twist it right back in. There's always going to be a little bit of air, so they actually make a little place for the air to get out. You just got to untwist it, then you got to push the ram back in, and then you should be good to go. So then after the air's out, you just close this up and it should be a bud. There we go.
Okay, so we're gonna do these pins that we said we were gonna do before. You see there, started to come out already. And then we put it on manually onto these so it slides nice. Should have wore gloves. Okay guys, we got the payloader all done, and now we're gonna start with the John Deere here. We call it the Johnny. Let's call our Johnny. And we're gonna wash windows first and then grease it. We're not gonna show the greasing because we already showed it for that, and it's just kind of repetitive. But we will show kind of more about the mixers so you guys can kind of understand how they work better. This is what the inside of the mixer looks like. It's got 2 screws. They call this a double screw. And it's got these knives here. You can kind of see them. Those help cut up any of the hay or any long particles. Our feed is pretty, it's not very long, so it cuts it up maybe a little too much even, but the cows do really well on it. And these mixers are pretty nice. You guys can't really see that well, but the back gets pretty dirty, and I wanted to get a video, so Jordan's gonna do the cleaning. We use a spray and then just these blue paper towels. They don't have to be perfectly clean, especially for the first wipe over, get all the dirt off. It's actually better if you know, we don't like the waste towel, so try and use the dirty stuff that you did on the other windows and then use a cleaner one for the finishing touch. It's pretty nice to feed with clean windows, isn't it, Jordan?
Oh yeah, it makes a world of difference. You can just really, the sun reflection is probably the worst thing. So when you have a clean window, it just allows you to be able to see all the little details that you can't see when the sun's reflecting on it.
Right. Just wait. As a family farm, we like to pay attention to details. It's probably, you know, there's definitely a lot of successful dairy farmers out there that don't have a lot of family on the farm. We're very lucky that we do have a lot of family because we do the fine details and you know, we pay attention to everything, and we all have the best interests for the farm. So it's a pretty cool experience working with our family. Jordan, do we fight very much?
We have our moments, but
Yeah.
you know, we always overcome it because we're all here for the future and for the plan ahead. So
Yeah, that's right. It's we all have one main goal. So even if we get a little bit snippy with each other sometimes, we always know that we got one main goal and we want to reach it, and the only way to reach it is together. So Jordan is my younger brother, but he's also taller than me. So some people say he's my not so little brother. He's honestly my best friend. Jordan, we're built-in best friends, right?
of course, family is the best way to go.
Yeah, so you know, you can have friends, you can have all sorts of buddies, but nobody's gonna have your back like family. Jordan already sprayed out stuff, and Cody sprayed out his filters and stuff like that, so we don't have to worry about doing that. Sorry guys, I didn't get to show you it. It's not that special anyway, but we are going to show you guys taking them back up front and putting diesel in, and then we're all done. It's not that far of a drive. It's actually pretty close. Well guys, we got all the equipment parked, and thanks for watching. That'll be it for this video. See you guys next time.